That's a very frightening statistic, in fact, that 1 out of every 2 people around the world who need insulin cannot access it. And I know access comes in a variety of different forms. Where does it fall into education? Where does it fall into educating perhaps governments or health entities? And then, yeah, I'd be interested in hearing from Ashley and Payan after, specific to, just the word access, and really what are the challenges with that word and what that word means, because I know it takes on a variety of different shapes and sizes.
Interestingly, in the United States, people might have heard of Senator Bernie Sanders, who's been talking a lot of on high insulin prices and unaffordable prices of things. But he also has recently mentioned access a few times when, some politicians are saying, oh, well, everybody has access. And he makes the point of saying, but what does access mean? Like, I might have access to buying $1 million home, but I don't have the money to buy that home. So I think your point about sort of what access means is a really important one, because we try to also say access and affordability. So to T1 International and our work, generally access means sort of being able to physically get this thing. Maybe that's having transport to get to the pharmacy or the hospital. So it's multi-layered, and I think it's just a great point that you need to make sure like you're on the same page with, if you're advocating for the government to change a policy related to access, you need to make sure you're on the same page as the government about what that means very specifically. So yeah, I'm looking forward to talking more about, potential solutions to some of these issues. But I would also love to hear what access sort of means to them and what they feel it means in their country.
Payan?
I think that, what Elizabeth said about, getting the physical, being able to get physical insulin itself, that's part of what I think access is. And I was just wondering, is there a major difference between access in the less developed country and as compared to a developed country? Because I know that, we know that there are many issues with regarding to access to medication in a less developed country, because they don't have, because of their situations, they may not have ample supply to insulin, or they do not have the healthcare, a very good healthcare system being set up for them to enable them to get access to insulin. So is there like a distinct difference, or what is very critical with regards to access in a less developed country as compared to a developed country, or a developing country as well? If Elizabeth can comment on this, and also I would also like to invite all viewers to actually comment on this as well. If there are, share your experiences if you come from a less developed country, or a developing country, or a developed country, to talk about what access means to you and what is the critical issue that you are facing with regards to access. Yeah, Elizabeth?
I think it very much, as you said, invite others to comment here. But from the stories that we've heard and the people we've worked with, there are different critical issues. I think that's also a really important point. Some people live in a country where insulin is provided to them, but they can't get test strips under the government healthcare scheme, and they also can't afford test strips, so they don't test their blood sugar except for when they go into the clinic every year or something like that, which is, I think it's difficult for some of us to think about. So there are different, as you put it quite well, critical access issues for different people in different communities, and perhaps for some it's not having access to education. So maybe you can scrape by and get your insulin and enough test strips, but you haven't really been taught how to dose or how to manage your insulin or best use of the limited number of test strips that you have. So something like that is a huge puzzle. At T1 International, we have a little graphic that shows, all the different pieces of the diabetes puzzle, and you need all of those pieces to be able to have the opportunity to live a full and healthy life. So it really depends where you're from, and oftentimes it's multiple things that we're looking at that are barriers.